movie starts in a mental hospital where we see a girl named Brittany sitting in her room because she attempted suicide at her school. Her doctor enters and tries to talk to her to find out why she did it. He suggests it might be because something was bothering her at school, but Brittany refuses to talk, saying he would understand. She feels like nobody cares about her, not even her family, and she explains she was bullied so much that she felt worthless and decided to end her life. She tells the doctor he can't understand because he's never been in a situation like hers before, but the doctor tells her she's wrong and starts telling her the story of the Black Rose. In the story, there's a beautiful high school girl named Stephanie. One day, the students who were going to be punished gathered in a room by themselves for an extra hour, and the school took their phones. The teacher asks each of them why they're being punished. When she asks Stephanie, she gets nervous and can't speak. So the teacher gets mad at her and tells her she doesn't want to hear her voice until the hour is up, which applies to everyone. Afterwards, Stephanie says she's leaving and won't come back. She warns them that anyone who speaks or moves will face a bigger punishment. But as soon as she leaves, the student starts talking among themselves. A boy named Uriel talks to Stephanie, complimenting her drawing and trying to talk to her, but she refuses to speak to avoid getting punished again. He tells her the school won't take her back anyway. When Uriel asks her why she's being punished, she stands up, so he follows her and asks why she's treating him like that. She tells him she doesn't like his attitude because she's dealt with people like him before, people who always insult her, like his friend, for example. But he insists he's not like everyone else and is determined to understand why she's being punished. So she tells him about a girl named Thelma who took her seat, and when Stephanie went to get her back, Thelma refused to give it to her. They argued and Stephanie accidentally broke Thelma's nails while trying to grab her back, which is why she's here, and Thelma immediately threatens to kill her. And we find out that Thelma is Uriel's girlfriend, and she asks him if they should stay away from Stephanie. Uriel doesn't understand why they should do that, especially since Stephanie is beautiful. He says he will try to talk to them to keep them away from her because he was bullied when he was younger and understands what she's going through. In the middle of their conversation, Uriel notices marks on Stephanie's hands, so she quickly hides them. At that moment, the teacher enters and punishes Uriel for talking to Stephanie. When the punishment is over, Uriel follows Stephanie and offers to walk her home, but she refuses. Then Thelma and Gabrielle, Uriel's friends, sees them and mock him for talking to the weirdest and quietest girl in school. Uriel gives Stephanie a disdainful look and leaves. We then see Stephanie standing with her mother in the kitchen as they prepare dinner. Stephanie asks her why she sticks with her husband Roger, and her mother says it's because he provides for them. Stephanie asks her mother to divorce him and get a job herself, revealing that Roger is her mother's husband and she's never seen her real father. Her mother gets angry at her and hits her. Just then, Roger enters and gets mad at them for delaying dinner. The next day, Uriel sits with Thelma and Gabriel, but he's quiet. Gabriel tells him he's interested in the crazy Stephanie, which annoys Thelma because she likes Uriel. She gets upset, changes seats, and leaves them. Later, Thelma confronts Stephanie, hits her, and insults her in front of all the students. When Uriel finds out what happened, he confronts Thelma, insults her in front of everyone, and threatens her not to touch Stephanie again. Then Stephanie goes home and Roger tries to bother her, but her mother arrives and Roger claims he saw Stephanie sad, so he tried to cheer her up. Her mother reluctantly believes him to avoid being hit. Stephanie leaves to do errands, and on the way she meets Uriel, who apologizes for what Thelma did. But she asks him to leave her alone for now, but he insists and asks her why she's always so upset. She tells him her life at home is very difficult because her mother always lies to her. She doesn't know her real father and Thelma wants to kill her. She also reveals that Roger, her mother's husband, has been bothering her since she was a child, and that's why she hates him. When she told her mother, she didn't believe her. Uriel is deeply affected and promises Stephanie that he won't tell anyone. Stephanie asks Uriel why he's interested in her, and he stumbles, unwilling to admit his feelings. Stephanie continues confessing that she often considers suicide and inflicts self-harm, but fears death and settles for self-injury. Uriel confronts her, empathizing with her and encouraging her, admitting that he admires her. Stephanie feels embarrassed and asks him to leave to avoid upsetting her mother. Uriel asks her to stay together at school, but she refuses. Fearing her friend's reaction, he reassures her that it doesn't matter to him and insists on spending time with her because he feels comfortable around her. They agree to meet outside of school, but before leaving, Stephanie makes Uriel promise that she won't herself again and to call him if anything happens. Days pass and they grow closer, enjoying their time together. One day, Uriel decides to take Stephanie with him while he gets a tattoo, and she is surprised to find out that he's getting a tattoo of the black rose she drew before. Another day, Gabriel asks Uriel why he's not spending time with them anymore. Uriel confesses that he's been avoiding people and admits his feelings for Stephanie. Gabriel is surprised and comments that Stephanie isn't attractive, angering Uriel, who defends her and tells Gabriel about the abuse Stephanie faces at home, asking him not to tell anyone. The next day, Uriel meets Stephanie, who seems very upset again, and he learns that her mother's husband is bothering her again. They discuss how to handle the situation, and Uriel considers getting his father's gun to kill Stephanie's stepfather. However, Stephanie stops him, fearing it will only make things worse. Meanwhile, Gabriel tells Thelma everything he knows about Stephanie, asking her not to say anything. When the class starts, Thelma reveals everything that happened to Stephanie at home, leading to her punishment and referral to the principal's office. Stephanie breaks down and leaves the classroom. Uriel, who is in detention, doesn't know how to respond to Stephanie, but when he finds out what Thelma did, he rushes to find her. Stephanie, feeling hopeless, decides to commit suicide. Uriel arrives just after she cuts her wrist and blames her for what she did, feeling betrayed. But Uriel explains that he did it to leave her alone. Stephanie admits her love for him before dying. Uriel confronts Gabriel and Thelma, and at that moment, Stephanie's mother finds her diary and realizes that she was telling the truth about her stepfather. The police arrive and arrest Uriel, who is sentenced to life in prison and killed by fellow inmates. Returning to Brittany, she sits with her doctor, still affected by the story. She asks if anyone from the story is real. At that moment, Thelma and Gabriel enter, revealing they got married, and Brittany's doctor turns out to be Uriel, who treats their daughter. He decided to pursue psychiatry to help teenagers avoid bullying. Uriel still keeps Stephanie's drawing and their picture together. And that's it. If you like this recap, hit like, share, and subscribe to our channel to keep seeing content like this one. If you have any requests or thoughts, drop them below in the comment section, and we will see you at the next one. Peace out!